Hey, welcome to Flight Test. I'm Alex and this is Josh.
Hi.
And we just got back from a great event.
The event was Maker Faire.
Yeah.
And right now I just want to take time to thank Maker Faire, or the guys at Make.
Make, yeah.
Because they contacted us about 3 weeks before the venue and said, hey, we have this area, this drone zone, this flying zone. We would love to have you come and show off what you do, because Make is all about DIY.
Yeah.
So of course we said yes.
Yeah.
And it was quite a challenge, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an interesting atmosphere because it wasn't just RC. It was something a little bit new to us. We haven't been to many. We go to a lot of events, but normally they're all RC events.
Yeah.
So this was cool because we could relate to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody had different passions and they all created different things, but they all created, which was really, really cool, and we were able to relate to them. So basically we got to the event.
Yep.
We showed up around sunset. And before we were going in there, we wanted to set up, and we thought we would be under the gun because we were late, and you're supposed to be setting up all throughout the day. And we show up, and they're like, well, why don't you guys just relax? Go get some food and some drinks.
What's the name of the food?
Paella.
Paella. Is that right? Paella?
Yeah, and we got a chance to meet all the other makers. There was tons of them there. I think last year they estimated over the 2 days, it's a 2-day event, they get roughly anywhere from 70 to 90,000 people.
It was amazing.
It's quite a bit bigger than the RC events that we're used to. And unfortunately, due to the New York park system, there was no flying in the fly zone.
Literally 30 minutes before we got there, the New York park systems came in and they said, guys, no flying, nothing except if it's in the net where the game of drones was going on. So the guys at the Game of Drones were phenomenal. We're going to do some content and have some fun with them. They blessed us with 2 airframes.
Actually, what they gave us is they gave us 2 large pizzas.
2 large pizzas?
Yeah. I got
2 large polycarbonate pizzas. This is actually their own personal Kickstarter program, and they were doing demonstrations with this. What they do is they go up and they do full contact competitions with a point system, and a lot of the people were using the Game of Drones airframe. They were actually putting on demonstrations and hitting these with baseball bats while they were flying to show how durable they were.
Yeah, I didn't see one break the whole time.
As a matter of fact, we even bumped into Brendan down there. He is truly passionate about the hobby, and I just loved actually seeing the thing strapped to his backpack.
Yeah.
You know, just like all the other guys, they oftentimes carry around their stuff.
Yeah.
And it was really, really cool.
Well, we had Game of Drones right next door. We had a couple different neighbors. What was the other one called?
Boy.
Flying Squirrel.
Flying Squirrel. The great kids at Flying Squirrel. They've been all over the world.
Yeah.
So they are very, very passionate about FPV videos. I believe they fly a Discovery Pro, right? Mm-hmm. And a couple of their own designs. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think there was a couple. It was a group of friends. So I think one of them had some 3D printed designs. The other one was flying the TBS Discovery Pro, and he had been all over the world with his family. And so it was real good getting to meet them and hanging out with them.
We got to meet a lot of amazing people, and also amazing moms too. And Lucas Belengia, if you're watching us right now and you haven't done your homework, your mom says do your homework. And
other than the Flight Test community members, there were even more people who had never heard about Flight Test before. So needless to say, the Flight Test community is growing, which is awesome. So
and a ton of people also that we can collaborate with in the future that know of us, we knew of them, but it was a great opportunity to shake their hands, finally meet them. Hackaday was one of them.
Yeah. Speaking of collaborating, Hackaday, they've been friends of ours for quite a while, and they actually feature a lot of our episodes sometimes on their website. So if you like DIY and easy hacks to regarding anything just to improve lifestyle, check out Hackaday. We got to meet with Adam and Brian, which was very, very cool. We actually did an interview with them, which I believe is on YouTube, and it's on Hackaday too. And speaking of neighbors, there was also a wonderful group that was shooting off air rockets with compressed air.
They're made out of simple paper. I think they had kids building them around the clock because boy, it was going off constantly. That was the only thing that was really able to fly out in the open. But they'd shoot about 300 feet up in the air, and all of a sudden you'd see them kind of crash down, and you'd see a happy father and son running out to grab the thing. And
it's kind of like Flight Test, but with rockets.
Yeah.
DIY, common materials, rocket test.
It was pretty darn impressive.
There was the Mentos and Coke, where they did a whole instrumental musical display. It was kind of like the Bellagio fountains in Las Vegas, and they did all these crazy Coke bottles that blew up.
Afterwards, you'd see these kids walking with these half-done things of Coke, and it was like their souvenir.
Yeah.
And then you look, that was on our right. If you look to the left, they had this life-size mousetrap thing going on. Yeah. And they had these little people dressed up like mouse, but it was a Rube Goldberg device. It ended up with a safe dropping onto a car. So about twice a day, you'd hear this deafening thunk, and people go crazy. And that was usually when we got flooded big time, because right afterwards, as a matter of fact, Peter even took his little VTOL and was kind of giving a little hover demonstration out there too. And that was amazing too. People didn't realize you could build something out of foam that actually had amazing technology to it to give you VTOL.
Yeah, another cool display was Glank.
Yeah.
Those were the guys that looked like mad scientists, but what they would do is they'd make musical instruments out of common materials like old propane tanks, artillery shells.
Saws.
One of my favorite displays by far was the giant robotic giraffe.
Oh my gosh, you guys love that thing. You were chasing all over the place.
It was kind of mesmerizing. It was like a rolling party, so it always had this really, really cool dance music.
Yeah, and it had these LED lights on it.
And it had a big long neck, and it would put its head down, and you could scratch its chin, and it would like it. It's like,
I never got to scratch its chin.
Yeah, you could scratch its chin.
Is that why you guys were gone that one time so long? We were petting the giraffe?
We were everybody was hanging out around the giraffe. It was like we're the life of the party.
Well, my favorite was the crocodile. You got these guys, and they had this like daisy-chained tricycle thing, and
that thing was cruising around, and
scaring kids. You know,
the driver had a big whistle, and he'd blow the whistle.
Yeah.
And they'd come flying in, and they'd swarm. It would start doing circles around a group of people, and it would literally trap people inside of it
until they decided to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and it was playing music real loud. It was really, really cool.
At some point to this, you're seeing more art than you were like crazy DIYs. And one was the lobster fish orchestra car.
Yeah.
I don't know what to describe it like, but there's this
guy. What was it? Big Mouth Billy Bass?
Yeah, Billy
and
Bass.
And then the dancing lobsters.
And they had like this articulating arm, and the lobster would choreograph it. And,
it was a bunch of singing fish and lobsters on top of a car.
On top of a car.
And it was extremely awesome.
And one thing that was very common was 3D printers.
Yeah.
3D printing is huge.
Yeah, it was a pretty common theme throughout the event. Every single tent, no matter what they were making themselves or creating, every single one of them almost had a 3D printer. Actually, I kind of felt left out. We didn't bring our 3D printer.
I know,
there was also a 3D printed car.
Yeah.
The whole frame of the car was completely 3D printed, and I would love to actually see the 3D printer that printed that bad boy out, because that was huge.
I love the fact that they actually didn't sand it down and paint it. They left it raw.
It looked really cool.
See all the resolution lines in it. Is really cool.
Yeah.
And you have a friend that's involved in 3D printing, don't you?
Well, actually, 3D scanning. The 3D printing market is blowing up, and I have a good buddy, Brooks, over at Knockout Concepts, and they're actually developing a handheld 3D scanner. So you can say you break a part on your quad or something like that, you can scan it and then print out a brand new one.
And it uses crazy technology like sound waves and all these other things. Something obviously with UV, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it uses some stuff. We actually may interview them in the future, make some bobbleheads or something.
Yeah, let us know if you want to see more 3D printing, 3D scanning, that kind of stuff, because it can impact not only just the hobby, but also just lifestyle in general.
Yeah, I love how quickly it makes prototyping to reality a possibility.
Yeah, and we actually used it quite a bit in prototyping for the Tough Tilt.
Yeah.
For the tricopter tilt design, which is going to be coming out here in the next couple months.
Yes.
And it's a very, very, very useful tool. So let us know if you want to learn more about that.
Absolutely. So Saturday flew by like crazy, didn't it?
Yeah, very, very fast. The day went by like lickety-split.
Yeah, and we collapsed because literally it was nonstop the whole time, but there's so much to see, so much to engage. We were zonked out. So the next morning we woke up, and you can't park on the site. You have to park at a parking lot and get bussed in. So my brother was gracious enough to
Jim
drop
is
us
the
off.
man, if we didn't mention that already. Every single morning he would go and park the car.
Yeah.
He'd literally be gone for like an hour to 2 hours because of traffic. Then he'd have to walk back. But we had our trailer parked right behind our tent.
And we actually put locks on it.
We put locks on it because we were trying to be responsible. We'd load everything up there at night, and so it was locked. Jim took the key to the car, which also had the key to the locks on it, and he was gone for like 2 hours, and we needed to set up for the day because the day was about to start.
Well, we look over, and literally maybe 100 feet away, there's learn how to pick locks.
Yeah.
and it was a big free sign. So I go over there, and I was like, hello, sir, my name is Josh. We're from Flite Test. We got locked out of our trailer, and I was like, he's like, could you help us? He's like, sure. I was like, well, great. What's your name? His name was Night Owl. I don't know if that's...
He was a really, really nice guy.
Really cool.
And an extremely good lock picker. He picked that lock in like, 25 seconds?
Oh, it was a complicated, it was a high-end lock, key lock.
And then it was funny because he picked 2 of the locks. Yeah. And then like a minute after he got done picking the locks, Jim showed up.
Jim was, hey guys, what you doing?
It's like, what are you guys doing over here?
So in about maybe 25 minutes, we had the whole tent reset up, everything out of the trailer, back into the tent when we were operational, and heading over to Make HQ tent. Now there's one gentleman gentleman that we've never gotten to meet before, but is also really regularly on YouTube, and that's Lucas Weekly.
Yeah.
He actually heads up Make Hangar.
Yeah, and we worked with Make, and they had their main headquarters, the Make HQ tent, where they had little displays kind of covering all the different aspects of the DIY community. And we headed up the drone zone. We were there on Sunday for a couple different time slots where we would be there and answer any questions people had about drones and that kind of technology. And Luke was right next to us, and it was great hanging out with him. If you guys haven't checked out Maker Hangar, definitely do so, because there's a lot of good tips and tricks and
a lot of good designs. He designs planes as well too. Also
and multi-rotors.
Yeah, and multi-rotors.
Yeah.
So.
There was also that guy there who was flying what was he doing? He's like flying two quads with his two hands.
It was like a dragon, right? I mean, it was crazy.
And then his wife was there flying some crazy
farmer-looking dude.
Yeah.
So
it was amazing. That takes some talent.
And we also got to meet an amazing gentleman and his family, matter of fact.
Yes.
His son actually got him into the hobby, and he went nuts with it. And he's a musician as well, too.
Yeah. And speaking of 3D printing, he actually 3D printed us a bunch of cool stuff, like these little mini quad frames.
He hooked us up with GoPro frames. He's even doing articles on our website, and that's how we knew of him. He's a major contributor to our article side of FliteTest.com, and his name is TommyGunn. TommyGunn. He's doing crazy things with gelatin, with 3D printers, with cell density.
Yeah, this thing, he was banging this thing against the pole.
Scaring people.
It just won't break. It's real flexible. It's a nice lightweight little mini frame. So
he hooked us up with a couple too. We're going to try out in the future. And give it a whack. But check him out on the
articles.
Side.
Yeah, he was also competing in Game of Drones as well, and he had a custom quad that he built that had all kinds of weapons and defense mechanisms.
Stationary.
It was like battle bots in the air for TommyGunn.
He would fly up, and then he had a net underneath that he could release and unroll this net, and then foul the props, and then the net would pull off.
Yes,
it was so cool.
It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Great meeting you, TommyGunn.
Yeah, thank you, and meeting your family too.
Yes.
Your kid and your wonderful wife was awesome.
Yes.
One thing I really love though is how people not only encourage people to create, but also get educated at the same time. And there's tons of wonderful companies out there doing that. One that we really liked was LittleBits.
Yes.
And we've been actually between takes playing with this thing like crazy, but just as we do with our swappables, we teach people one chunk at a time how to get into model aviation. Their specialty is one component at a time. So kids can actually clip these things together and learn what a sensor does, what a potentiometer does, what a Bluetooth dongle does. It gets actually very advanced, and you can put these things in different order.
Yeah, you can get really creative with it. And they had a really cool booth there with a bunch of different examples of stuff you can build. It's a really good way to teach the kids about different electronic components.
Kind of like electronic Legos. And LittleBits is kind enough to not only send us home with some little bits to play with, but also give us a coupon code. So if you go to their store and type in Flite Test, you'll get $20 off your purchase. And they actually call this, what is it, user-generated hardware?
Yeah, they have a community kind of similar to Flite Test, and all these, they call these modules, and each one has different functionality. It's a different component, and they propose ideas to the community, and the community votes on what they want to see, and the ones with the highest votes get actually manufactured into a product that you can buy.
I want to put this in an airplane and see what we can do.
Yeah, I think you could do all kinds of crazy
Pretty
stuff.
cool educational tool for your kids.
Yep.
All right, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Special thanks to the guys at Make Faire. This was an incredible venue. We're going to go back year after year. It was a great time fellowshipping with the wonderful folks of the Flite Test community, but also meeting a lot of other great people, and also get inspired by what other people do.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the atmosphere of this event. It was truly extraordinary. Tons of nice, knowledgeable people, and everybody was curious about each other's projects, and everybody was willing to share ideas, share designs. You share everything.
So we may even go to other Maker Fairs too in the near future. I know they have an amazing one over in California. Let us know if you'd like to see us there.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching, and thanks for supporting us through the store. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We have new episodes every Monday and Wednesday, and it's all family friendly, so sit down and watch it with your family.
Keep those suggestions coming. We listen.
See you guys
next time.